Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, I'm going to have a little fun with my A team. We're going to go into all of the weekly battles. Same team, full auto, let's go. So I am here with my one team to rule them all. We're going to go into all the weekly boss fights. But I do want to mention this video is sponsored by Dragonheir Silent Gods, my favorite sponsor. We're having a ton of fun in Season 2 with the new heroes, new synergies, new dungeons, new content, brand new synergies, span new game. And yeah, if you haven't already started playing yet, you can use the link in the description or the pinned comment to download on Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Steam, or Epic Games. But for this video in particular, I'm going to showcase some fun during my live stream. I wanted to showcase my A-team, my one team to rule them all. And by ruling them all, I do mean these great weekly dungeons here that we get this amazing currency and the solvent for our psychic core. I go through and I use the same team for everything, full auto, no timings, no presets needed, and it's just a fun chance to really showcase some of my favorite heroes on my account. But as we go through each of these, we start with the oldest or easiest and get to the newest. I do talk through strategy, so it's not just a look at my OP team kind of video. It is a helpful guide as well. So I hope other people can benefit from watching it and listening to the tips and tricks I give for these bosses along the way. There are some key things involving positioning and needing to manual, especially in a battle like Grumog, or Amethyst, Purple Dragon, Violet Dragon, so many names, I forget. Yeah, it's a fun battle, but it's hard, and there's some reasons to manual, except in my situation, which I will talk about. This boss here is pretty hard. AoE is really helpful, just like this one as well. And there's even some positioning tips for the green Emerald Breath Dragon, Zugmardus. So we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to showcase that. This is some footage from my live stream on Twitch, so let's let that roll. Alright, so I'm going to go in and do my weekly boss fights. We can find those here, of course, or the easier way is probably the book. I am going to have some fun today with all the weekly challenges. We're going to go through all of them, and I'm going to use my A team, as I call it. I have the A team. I have a B team as well. But my A team can do every single one of these on full auto with no presets. So we're just going to have a little fun, chill vibes, showcase my super fun OP team, and I am gonna try to help and talk through things along the way. Overall tips and tricks as we go through, maybe positioning importance for some of these as we go along each one. So that's kind of my plan. Let's start with the oldest one. Of course, we have Zugmardus, the green, the poison dragon, Emerald Breath. The purple dragon, Grumog, is also called the Amethyst Dragon. They have a million names for everything. Then we have Sevesta, the corrupted queen. She's creepy. She's hard. These two bosses kind of need a little bit of AoE, and so does this one actually, but you can get by this one with no AoE. This one the purple dragon you can do with no AoE if you manual the fight, but you have to manual the second round or else good luck attacking the right target. But yeah, I'm going to talk through strategy a little bit, not just showcase my OP people and seem super crackety. I'm not trying to do that. I'm going to try to give a little bit of tips and tricks as we go along, so. But it's just fun. This is going to be a showcase of my A team at the same time. It's going to be a little bit of both. So once more into Tales of Forest. So I'm doing all the hardest stages. We're going in all the hardest stages I could very easily do. So Zugmardus is up first. He, of course, has the swipes with his tail, left side and right side. Attack penalty 2. It used to be different in Season 1 and Season 0 for that matter. But it doesn't really matter where you place people because you're still going to get hit with the tail. So that's kind of a good one. That's a little bit easier to do. So I'm actually going to use my A-team here. Let's see, the A-team. Make sure I have the proper gear on them. Let's see. All right, we're going to bring in the A-team. We're going to have... It doesn't really matter, honestly. We're going to space out. I'm going to be double tank. But Acilia is also healing cleanse when I need it. So that's really helpful. And then, of course, we're going to have another melee with Dristowarden. He is going to be in a gambler set with full damage focus and no concern for accuracy. He is in the goblet as well. I have Oster is going to be the one placing the debuffs. But it looks like since I've done this, I really need to up my accuracy, so I'm going to fix that first. But he's the one who is going to place everything. I think we're actually not too bad. Oh yeah, no, it's only 170 needed for here. Never mind. It's only 170 that you need for the highest level here, so he's okay. And then Rose here is going to be... Ooh, I could fix Rose's gear now that I have better gear. So Rose is going to be our Witch's Remains candidate, also applying attack penalty to the boss. But I'm going to get her in a Cyril set so she can boost the attack of everyone as well. Why not? Let's make Rose a little bit better. So I think I'm just going to grab whichever one... Let's see, crit rate... plus enlightenment, HP and enlightenment. You know what, I'm just gonna grab the HP and enlightenment in case it's a little harder with the survivability for some of the harder bosses like the Sylvester boss. So I'm gonna just grab that. We made the set, she's good to go. Let me save it in my presets. We are gonna go ahead and try to just use the crit damage aura and just smash through. So this is round 1, pretty easy for the green dragon. Oh yeah, I've heard people can do that too. So wait, let me give that other tip. That's true. If you're struggling, I should probably point out that other tip. If you put everyone to one side, you only get hit by one of them instead of... Yeah. I've seen people do that too, but I don't know if that'll work as much for me. You can shove everyone on one side with the green dragon as well. But depending on your team, you may or may not need to, honestly. It's the easiest out of all of them. But if you're struggling with survivability, that might be what you want to do. For me, it doesn't really matter for my tanks. They all spread out. But that does help for the Hearth is at the last level. It used to be so different with the attack down and the defense down, but then they changed it. It was really confusing. It used to be different. So now, first up, this one is just attack penalty 2 on the left side, attack penalty 2 on the right side. So that's it. Both sides, doesn't really matter, you're gonna get hit. But this is the easiest one of all, of course. It's the first level. Pretty easy just to blast through. Or the first boss that we encounter, I should say. So now he's going to... transform? No, he's not going to transform. What is he doing? He is gaining extra power, I guess. I do love the cinematics for the... Or cinematics for the, weekly fights. They're pretty cool. Yeah, it only hit Drist. Although, I guess I gotta put Drist in the corner so he's not the one getting hit. I should put him where Garius is, honestly. But my Drist is pretty tough. He can handle it. So here... See, we have this. There is no defense penalty. I think you're remembering another season, but there is no defense penalty. Just attack penalty, attack penalty. That they place. But we just blast this boss. Absolutely destroy it. This is the hardest stage. Stage 4. Job done. No effort. Easy points. Drist is my full smash and Oster is my frost applier. So yeah, Drist is the main DPS. I have him, you know, he's Awaken 5. I mean Inspiration 5. He is a monster. I'm just letting him be as much DPS as possible. Oh, before the dragon. Yeah, but those are so... They're not even important. I thought no, but I'm saying the tail the swipes of the tail, left and right, they used to be 1 attack penalty, 1 defense penalty, and you used to have to stagger which characters you put on which side, depending on which ones you wanted to take each hit or whatever. or avoid it, like you said, like with one side, all of them on one or not. But it used to be the actual tail swipes were separate, but they changed it. I think they changed that for season 1. I think that was only the beta, season 0, where it was like that. All right, next boss. Let's go. Let's go to the purple dragon. Yeah, both are attack penalty now, but they didn't used to be. That's what I thought you meant. So we're gonna go on to Grumog here. This is 3-phase fight as well. First, you just kill Uteor. Then Uteor comes back and he has his amethyst monsters that help keep him alive. You have to make sure you kill the right one. So we're gonna talk about that. There's also this important factor to note here. Let's see, where does he have it? I want to read it. So here, Rockfall deals stackable AoE lightning damage to each enemy and their adjacent tiles. So when it comes to this fight, you actually want to space out your heroes. So you could see, I mean, for me it doesn't matter because I am using 3 melee, which is a little bit difficult, but ideally you just want 1 tank and then you want to space everybody out. Like you want to have a tile at least in between everybody, just like yeah, just like you would for the burn, like in the flame domain. But because I'm using all melee, it doesn't really matter for this. We're also going to be watching for the second wave. The first wave you can just blast. I think I'm gonna go with my defense aura just to play it safe because this does hit a little bit hard the first round. If you have trouble with survivability, you just gotta beef people up. This is pretty hard hits the first round. Or use some food. I used to use consumables with the HP percentage as well to help survive. But you should be at a full auto the first wave of just killing Uteor. His monsters are down. It's only him. And then the second wave here is where it gets difficult. This is where some people will need to manual if you're not using AoE damage. So you're going to notice that the amethyst monsters are going to wake up. And whichever one has lightning surrounding them, that is going to be the one that is making Uteor invincible. And you need, like, see this front one? If I was doing single targets, you would turn off your you would turn off your ultimates and manual them to make sure you're killing that front guy first. Because you can't do any damage to Uteor until that amethyst monster is dead. And that's where the big key is for why you need to manual. That is a big difference. But if you have AoE, usually you're safe. But you could, if you're having trouble with it, and you could make sure still that you are actually attacking the correct monster. But with AoE, at least with big range, you're okay. But yeah, we just smashed through that. It's called Dristoward Inspiration 5 in a fancy schmancy gambler set. He's a monster. I love it. And hello, Taco Squad and a Philogist Gamer. Wait, I just butchered that. It's fine. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for hanging out in chat today if you're live. I'm just blasting through all the weekly bosses with my A-team, as I call it. One team to rule them all. This one team can full auto every boss. That is part of the weekly challenges, at least. And it's almost the same team I use for pushing Pillar of Trial and Meander. But that's my B team. That's where we add in Vorash instead of Asilia. This one, I feel like there's not too much to worry about. You're just getting constant damage. It is what it is. It's that kind of a thing. So you're just gonna have to smash through. I don't think there's too much strategy when it comes to the boss itself. It's really the second wave that's the hardest. If you can get through the second wave with the annoying amethyst monsters with Uteor, you should be fine for the boss. Boom! 2 bosses down, 2 more to go. We are just smashing with our Dristanoster. And yeah, I do have Rose in here for the attack penalty, and she's my Witch's Remains. I have Asilia as a second healer and tank and cleanser when I need the cleanses. And then I have Garius as well. We know how good Garius is at everything. He is our healer tank as well, but he brings that shield thanks to the Gatekeeper staff. And then here we're going to go to Gloomland Showdown and fight Sylvesta. This boss is pretty hard. It took me a while to be able to automatically do it. But again, this season, it's level 170, not level 240. There's 2 stages. The second stage I can do with this team okay. But it can be pretty difficult. You often need to manually attack the right things that, like the other, what do they call that come out? I don't even know. What are they even called? She summons her creepy little, yeah, whatever they are. She summons a few different units. The swarm ones can hit you really hard when they explode. But this hotbed of corruption, you need to make sure you're taking that out. She also inflicts charms, so you could have accuracy if needed to not get charmed. But she can also recover HP. That's another thing. You could bring in a Sigrid here. This is a good one for Sigrid. But yeah, I like that this season they're easier than they were last season. So day 1 when your weeklies reset, if you can do the highest level boss, go in and do it. There's no reason to wait. Just get your rewards, get your scrolls, get your solvent, and help progress your account for the week. We're just gonna smash this boss. Hopefully I don't die. This was one of my hardest ones to full auto without like having to semi-manual the attacks. But if you wanted to, you could also, if you were using single target, you'd probably need to manual the battle. Like I used to use my Flora Wild team, my Vortex team against this boss fully, which was difficult because I had to constantly manual Tunnelnon and Flora. But when you got a full AoE like Oster and Drist, or if you have Usha instead of Drist, they're great. If you have Losenia, or even Rava. Rava surprised me with some damage recently. I didn't realize she could actually pack a punch. But that is a fun little combo as well. You could actually make Rava smash. I did not expect it. Boom, boom, boom. The boss is dead, though. We just gotta finish off killing the annoying little ads. And job done with the A-team. I love my A-team. It's so fun. One team to rule them all continues. Let's go. Let's go. Alright. This is going too fast. On to the final of the 4 weekly bosses. The Abyssalissus... the Absolossus. Colossus. The Absolossus. This one is a multi-phase battle like the others, with the tentacles that kind of come up, and you need to kill them. You can try to avoid or deal with the buffs that pop up here when Mithrasia's in the Abyssal Surf state before she becomes the big old boss. There is recharging speed penalty here, so depending on your debuff prevention, it might mess up any speed tuning or not. Charmed, so we do have to worry about getting crowd control, stun, fear as well. So you could have some resistance or you could have some control effect immunity. But it's not necessarily needed. You can just power through it as well depending on your team. And the boss is only level 160 for the final stage. Again, luckily they didn't do like last season where it was like 240. It would have been pretty damn hard, honestly. But we have our creepy Grandma Mithrasia boss fight, and yeah, AoE is going to be great here as well. And again, you don't even need that much accuracy, only 170 total, which of course is in consideration of, don't forget to add in your 50s, so I only need like 120 accuracy on people. Really easy to obtain. Of course, I have probably overkill, but having some AoE to be able to take out things a little bit quicker is of course a benefit here. But we're gonna hit hard regardless. We know how my team's doing. It smashes. We're just having some fun. Boom, boom, boom. I definitely have no regrets spending money or not for Dristord and getting him fully inspired. He's my favorite character on my account. I really love playing him. And he brings me joy. When I go through Fey Meander, when it gets harder, I put him in a stun set with as much damage stats as I can as well. So I'll have like almost the entire team in a stun set. If I decide to continue using Rose throughout Fae Meander, she'll be in a stun set too. It'll be full stun sets. Voresh I use in Fae Meander. He's part of my B team. And that will be with, of course, a stun set. And Witch's Remains. And then I'll probably put Rose in like the Hourglass instead. I love the graphics for this boss though. It looks so cool. They did a really good job. It's fun. It's colorful but interesting. So we're gonna come up to physical damage to all enemies 4 times. Can't avoid that. Everything is like to all enemies, so positioning doesn't matter as much. You're just kind of getting smacked here. Where some of them, the positioning can really make a difference. This one is, you're gonna get hit by everything, so don't stress too much. More so if you have certain characters where you need positioning around, like, if you don't have a Cilia, but you bring in a Catherine, she has to have everyone in a certain shape to be able to heal all of them. So that's where you want to position based on your team instead of on the enemy. But the only one where the positioning can make a huge difference really is that Uteor. And debatably, like you said, the Green Dragon, if you want to shove everyone to one side, only take 1 hit. But depends on your survivability. Even when my people weren't so OP, I had no trouble this season pushing through and not dying with the harder stages of the Green Dragon. If you're in Season 1, guys, it is harder. It really is to do the hardest stages. So it actually gets easier instead of harder. That's something to look forward to. But yeah, that is my one team to rule them all. That is my A team. My B team is the same, except what I use in Vortex. What I use in Fae Meander, except putting Voresh in a stun set. That's kind of the strat, and it's fun. And now my shop is popping after the weeklies. Oh no, it's not, because I already bought everything. I already bought almost everything. Okay, one more. Boom. That's all I need. I already bought this we can only buy once every 2 weeks, unfortunately. 14 days. This we can buy every 7 days, so I'm kind of waiting for the refresh. Personally, I have a ton of rare scrolls, so I'm not buying those right now. I might have to start buying the dice just because I'm gonna have nothing else to buy. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll buy the one cheap one just because. But I don't really have a need to buy these. I have like 120 rare scrolls. But this is a great way to purchase your scrolls every week for leveling up your people, so. I just kind of gotta play it by ear though. I have 9 more days, so I'm gonna have another reset. So I might end up being able to buy these every week, actually. I didn't think I could yet, but I think so. I think so, actually. Let's do it. I think I'm at that point, because I have a whole nother week to be able to buy this. It's only 2 weeks. Yeah, so I think I'm at the point where I can actually just buy those darn Starlight die every week, too. 6,000. It just depends on how lucky you get with the drops, right? Let's see if I can get an Adolphus, a Solde, or a Shelter. Hey, epic! Not who I need. I'm still missing a few key epics, so Starlight die can still be pretty exciting to me, honestly. Maybe someday I'll get who I need. Maybe. And if you haven't already, be sure to download Dragonheir Silent Guides now using the link in the description or the pinned comment. It's available on Android, iOS, Mac, PC, Steam, and Epic Games.